I was walking into my hotel one particular time on a trip not too long ago. Actually talked to the pastor about some of this and began to share this as the Lord pointed this out. So I walked into the room. I began to notice right in the beginning, there was a table sitting next to the chair, or the couch rather, that you're walking into. Now this table, I began to notice, was leaning a little bit. It was leaning because when I looked a little bit closer, I noticed one of the legs on the table was actually crooked. So you couldn't tell if you hadn't looked closely, but when you looked closely enough, one of the legs was broken and it was crooked. Now that one broken leg caused the whole table to lean. And so even when a table is set before you in the presence of enemies, even when you're thinking about the table of an organization or the table of a team, with one broken leg, the whole thing will lean. So when you start to think about delegation, one of the things I considered is it would be unwise for me to put more weight on something that's already leaning. It would be unwise to put more weight on something that's already broken. So when we think about delegation, we have to be wise about who and what we put weight on when. Because if it's broken, if it's cracking, if it's leaning under its current pressure, who am I to say it can handle more pressure? If the current weight is breaking it, I can't give it more weight. If I do, its further breakage and damage would not be upon the table. It would be upon the person that set weight upon the table. See, as a leader, we're responsible to be able to evaluate those that we love and we lead. And if I see somebody's breaking under what they already have, I'm not going to pass upon their table that which I want them to have. I've got to wait until they have enough strength to manage what's going to come upon their table. So is your table leaning? Is your team leaning? Is your life leaning? See, delegation requires that kind of consideration so I can be deliberate and have deliberation in order for it to be effective. That's crucial when we think about this because that limp will affect the load. See, if I had an oxen that had good legs, but one of its legs was bad, or two of its legs were bad, would I put more weight on that oxen with two bad legs? No. Or one bad leg even? Probably not, because that limp will affect the load. So before you delegate, really consider if somebody is ready to handle the weight they're supposed to bear. Now let me say this to somebody who feels like God has more on your life. Do what you can right now to go deep into God's presence and let God fix what has you leaning. Let God fix what is broken inside of you so you're able to carry the weight of what God is doing. Because before you can carry the weight of a new season, you got to show you can carry the weight of this season.